What was your main goal for the album that you hoped you would achieve?
Really just, my main goal was finishing it, completing it, and also, or more importantly, really having a body of work that is done, or as done as I felt it would be, and having it into the world, just out into the world, which is something I hadn't had before. Obviously, it's my debut album. For those that don't know or that will know in the future, and for people to go back to look, because for people to just go back to see, because I have so much more other work that I'm working on and ready to put out. So I just wanted a nice story and a humble beginning, and that's what I feel like the project represents, and also is for the city, it's for Chicago, or any hood you from that resembles struggle, and also I wanted it to be a collective story. I wanted it to be a cohesive collective story, and I think I did that.
So you're happy with the outcome?
I am. It took me, so today is February 18th. It took me a couple of months to actually, I released the project December 21st of 2020. So it took me a couple of months to actually digest the album after releasing it. And when I say digest it, I mean as a fan, because you know when you hear, you have a favorite artist, and you might have a favorite artist and they drop something, and so now you're waiting to hear it, so you're just hoping that it's good, or you're hoping that you can you're just anticipating you're gonna vibe with it, you're gonna rock with it, you're gonna fuck with it. So it took me, because I hate listening to myself. Like I have to do it because I'm a recording artist, but I really truly hate listening to myself. It's nerve-wracking, to say the least, because I'm always in my head, so I'm usually thinking about what other people are thinking about how I sound. So yeah, like I'm happy with it, and it's, to me, it's about 99% complete. The project is complete overall, but there's always, when you're creating art and when you're producing art, you're never really finished. At least I know I'm not, because I'm always, my engineer, like, he hates me sometimes. Shout out to my homie McGill, or he goes by Primate. So like, he hates me because I do another take, and we'll get a perfect take, because he knows, like he has that ear, but he'll tell me like, nah, that wasn't it. But I'm so used to, that's my practice. They say practice makes perfect, but nothing's perfect. So my old math teacher in high school, she had a thing on the board that says practice makes permanent. So and I have a permanent project out for the world to hear. If I make nothing else ever again, that's there, and that's what I'm happy about the most. That people can go back and they'll see that and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, shit, well he did that. I've gotten great feedback from it, just for it to be the beginning of my story and the beginning of everything I'm trying to do. So yeah, man, nonetheless, you gotta love it and let it go. That's what I've learned. It's really hard for me to do that shit, but that's what I learned to do, and I did it.
What was your mindset behind Where Is God Now?
I really wanted to create a really off the wall song, because when I got the beat, that beat is produced by this guy named Rocker Beats. He's like from over in the UK, and I had got that beat from him years ago. So I had really wanted to. One of my biggest influences are like Lil Wayne, as far as rapping styles, and another influence I would have to say is Eminem, the old Eminem, of course, but not just for his rapping style, but for how he just crazily told. Just crazy is not even a word, but you know what I mean. Like, he just told a story that was just off the fucking wall, and it was just like, he made that shit hot. You know, he made that shit real hot. So that's really all I wanted to do. I titled it Where Is God Now as like a play on words or play on the title, because the song to me I wanted it to represent something as if like you were going through like this big fight for your soul or yourself or your self-respect or you're fighting for something really big, self-validation, whatever it can, whatever means to you, you're fighting for it. And I wanted it to be like my back was up against the wall, or I was up against like 1,000 men, or I was up against like this huge turning point that would allow me to break through, or to see how tough I was, or see how strong I was, and with a few flashy bars here and there. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like what I say, I was like, I say fuck it like Dave Chappelle, I'm a comedian. If the Illuminati ain't real, then why the fuck he leave TV then? I'm seeing double, I'm seeing thirds, I'm seeing tens. Look at his face, look at his eyes, you see the grin. Look in his soul, you see the demons, you see the sins. Go by the code, my flow is gold, I need a pen. Fuck a therapist, fuck a doctor, I need a friend. Like, that's some deep shit, cause I'm really, the fight is with me. The battle is with me. So I'm fighting not just the world per se, but I'm fighting myself and trying to, through this purgatory, and trying to seek validation and success, and also be comfortable with it. And I feel like at those moments, you gotta ask, like, where is God in all of this?
Looking back on King of the Furnace, what kind of impact did you intend to make?
I wrote this entire album like 5 years ago, so it was already done to me. So I'm extremely late on what I'm doing, but better late than never, as they say. So King of the Furnace, I had 5 years ago, that's 2016, 2015. I was locked up at the end of 2015, and I did 100 days in Cook County Jail. And that's part of, obviously, that's part of the story, of course. That's the name of the album. And around that time, I got locked up for, I was just out here reckless and just in the streets and doing all types of crazy shit. I lost my grandmother, I lost my grandfather, I lost my uncle. My uncle, like, he was an alcoholic, so he died. They found him in the snow, like outside, damn near half frozen to death. It's cold as hell. And then they found him, they took him to the hospital, they was trying to revive him. He was on life support for a minute, but then his organs just was failing. He was cold, and he was an alcoholic, so he was drunk too. So it was just all bad. So I was losing family members, I was seeing my mother lose her family members, lose her brother. She lost her mom and dad. So it was really tough on us as a whole. And it's really hard seeing your loved ones go through pain, shared pain, and you really just don't know what to do or what you could do. And King of the Furnace, so around that time, it was a lot of racial tensions with Mike Brown, then Laquan McDonald, and early on, like Trayvon was still fresh. So that, it was literally like a freestyle, because that beat, shout out to my homie Raymond, or he go by Rolla Mac. I want to say it right. I hope I'm saying it right. But I know him by Raymond. That's my bro. So I had linked up with him, went to his crib. He stayed out in Roseland by me. So I'm from the Hundreds. So, and like Wild Hunters is also a play on the title as well. So 100 been a number of mine my entire life. But he gave me that beat, and I didn't say nothing to him. I just started rapping. I just started rapping. And I was like, he had this little studio set up in his basement, and to me that was like a whole freestyle, because all of that was just flowing right off the top of my head. And also, so 2016 was the year that Trump got elected. So all of this shit was like, we was just thinking like, it was just about to go up. It was already going up, but all of this stuff and all of these tragedies that was happening in the streets, from the police officers to young black men, it was very hurtful. It was very painful and just very hard to watch, very hard to see. And we've been so tired and so fed up with this shit for so fucking long. So King of the Furnace was an ode to Mike Brown and Laquan McDonald eventually. And I I love that song so fucking much. Like I love that song so fucking much because I really felt like I put like so much emphasis and so much influence into it. And later on, I recorded it finally in 2019, early 2019, with my engineer. I used old engineer I used to work with. His name is Jay Bravo, and he was my teacher at SAE Technical Institute. So cool guy, and he invited me into his home. We recorded the song, and I had put more chorus like hooks and small melodies and choruses into it, and it turned into a 6-minute song. But I didn't give a fuck because I'm from the old school, so I'm like I used to love albums where songs were longer than they usually or typically are nowadays. But it was just a lot of heart and a lot of pain that went into that song, and I hope that song is something that I'm remembered by forever. And I still have bigger plans to push that song and get that song out there because I felt like, and especially last year, like in 2020, that was a song that like the whole world needed, I felt like. And a lot of people who actually a few people who came across that song told me like, damn, this song sounds like what's happening right now. With everything that happened in 2020, from George Floyd to the protests to COVID, everything. So yeah, man, I just hope that that's one song that people will remember me by. And also know that I got them motherfucking bars too. Like, I'm sensitive about my shit, but I don't be fucking around. Like, this my shit, this my craft, and I'm serious about it. Like, I'm real serious about it because it's what I want to do. It's what makes me happy. It's what I love. It's my passion for real. So, yeah, that's it on that.
How do you choose the name of your songs? And what was your process on creating Second Time Around?
I'm big on titles. Like, I'm really big on titles. And I try to name a song just like we would name a baby or your newborn. I try to name a song of based off what I feel like it should be called, or based off what I feel like the sound or the beat of the song is feeling like. And so Second Time Around was a good play on words for me because when I initially wrote it, I was basically looking for a second chance, second and third and fourth chance. I was looking for a lot of chances because I really felt like I had really just felt like I fucked up, and I wasn't out here really loving myself. Because after my grandmother died in 2013 and 2 years later my granddad died in 2015. So the summer of 2015 was a wild summer for me, to say the least. And I was doing everything that you could think of under the sun, from criminal activity to parties and girls and drugs. And I was just like, but that was that spring of 2015, my granddad died. And he gave me his camera like 3 days before he died, because I was like, yo, Pops. I called him up, and he's like, he's active, he's out, driving around, hanging out with his friends, going with his church buddies, singing. He sung in the choir. So he's up and out and doing stuff. I was like, yo, Pops, I could borrow your camera, I'm trying to do this little project or whatever. He's like, yeah, sure. I'll bring it through. And he brought it through. Like, oh, you take care of it now? He thought we talked for a minute, and he drove off, and that was the last time I seen my granddad alive. And he was a huge staple in my life from 7th, 8th grade all the way through high school. Because my dad got locked up for a 10-year bid. So I needed, like, he literally, he would come like swoop me, save me from my mom's house, plenty of nights, plenty of days, for me to get away, take me fishing, and do all types of stuff. He cook, and we cooked the catch we got, and I learned so much from that man. So I believe in past lives, and I believe in us being here before. So the second time around also meant like me having an experience from a certain perspective of not only what I've been through in my past, but what I learned that my granddad and the elders that came before us been through. Cause that's kind of the vibe of the song. Shout out to my homie Raymond again, cause he produced that beat, and it was such a different beat, and he had the ragtime keys on there, and it's really intricate beat. Like if I would actually just show you on the template, really intricate beat, but it was just a dedication for just my family in general. So yeah, I really that's definitely probably one of my favorite songs on the album, and I'm so glad because it actually turned out in the final production better than I thought it would.
What are your top 3 songs on the album?
It'll definitely be Second Time Around. It'll definitely be King of the Furnace. Oh no, yeah, of course, First Things First, because that's for my mother and that's for my grandmother.
What's your take on social media and self-promotion as an independent artist in today's society?
Social media now, looking at it now, it's definitely not what it was 10 years ago, obviously. Especially last year, like what COVID has done to what COVID did and has done to this world, it made us turn into social media even more because everyone was quarantined at home. And not that people weren't already hyperactive attention seekers, but it's just even worse now. And that also has pushed artists to dig deeper in promoting themselves virtually, because we can't really do concerts like that. We can't really go out or go to different locations or different cities to promote ourselves, or I mean, we can a little bit now here and there or at your own will, but it's still tricky. It's still different. Social media can be very toxic and very draining. Very, 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 very draining. And it's hard. It's already hard enough because what a lot of people don't know, it's really hard enough already promoting yourself as an artist, especially once you get the project done or whatever it is you're creating. That's the easy part. Now you have to put it out there and get it in front of people. So, and I think a lot of people who look at artists, who look at us or look at artists or look at creatives and just think that we're just doing, partaking in a small hobby or doing something on our free time or whatever. It's so much more deeper than that, because if you really want to get out there, if you really want people to see what you have to promote yourself. And of course, you have to use social media. And that's literally, like, promoting myself is literally the only thing that really ties me to Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever else, So, and then I have music, like separate from that, I have music, other like different like music platforms that allow you to share your music, that you can interact with fans on and stuff like that. So, and that to me is the hard part, especially if I'm used to talking to people and I'm used to being in certain circles where I can express myself and say what's on my mind. But sometimes it's just really draining. Some days I don't wake up, wanting to talk to everybody, or even turn on the lights for that matter, or even, I'd rather stay in the bed for a few hours. I mean, we all have those days, but you can really get down on yourself, especially when you're just an independent artist. You don't have a big label backing you. You don't have, and you're on Instagram and you're on Facebook, whatever, and you're seeing all these other artists doing major hot shit, doing crazy shit, and you're like, damn, like I want to do that too, but you gotta network, you gotta connect, you gotta get out there. So that's really the only good thing to me that social media brings. And you have to be careful about that, because then you say you want fans, you want exposure, but then there are a lot of weird people out there. There are a lot of weird people out there that want to intrude on your life, or that want to judge you for this or that, or say whatever, but you got to deal with that. and creeps, and all types of weirdos out there that want to critique you and say this and say that. But I mean, I don't let any of that bother me. But it's a catch-22, man. The social media now is this shit is wild. It's wildly addictive and just wild, just all together. Like it's crazy. It's a crazy world we're living in right now.
Where was your state of mind initially when creating this album?
I was down. I was hurt. Fucking depressed. Fucking broke. Living in my mom's basement. Making all of just, writing shit out of my mom's basement, making beats and recording if I could out of my mom's basement, or trying to go to work. Had little dead end jobs here and there and shit. And it was just a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. Like I literally had, when my granddad passed, I was literally breaking up with one of my exes at the same time. Ended up moving back. I was living with her, ended up moving back with my mom. So a lot of emotions. And then at the end of 2015, I get locked up because I'm depressed and I'm out here wilding and creating, doing all types of criminal activity and shit. And then people caught up with me. And it was a lot. So when I came home, the first 100 days I spent in Cook County jail, I wrote like every day, every other day. So I came out with like 100 songs, like 100 songs and poems. But none of that you hear on this album, on 100 Days in Hell. So none of that you hear on that. So I came out and I wrote a whole different, like everything, all the beats you hear on that, it was all new shit, all like off the fly shit, off the head shit. So I was just like, I was really just, when you were in that, when the world is like fucking crushing you, and they say, pressure make diamonds. And I've hoped to make a diamond out of this, my first little baby, or my album, my project, that is. So when the world is fucking just beating you, and you also giving into the society that literally doesn't want you here, that literally doesn't want us here as black men, black people. When you're giving into that society, I seen a whole new world when I got locked up. A whole new world of nothingness. Of nothing, of a world just literally leading me deeper and deeper and deeper into my own grave. And I remained myself and through all of that. And I was inside, I had OGs put me on, like, hey, if you gonna be out here doing this, you need to be making sure you got this and got your lawyers in order and got your affairs in order, and you make sure your mama good, make sure all this, So jail, what people might not know is jail don't teach you shit. Prison doesn't teach you shit unless you choose to value the lesson. But for so many of us, if we coming from poverty-stricken, hoods, food desert hoods, not enough resources, not enough jobs, we out here, robbing, stealing, and killing. And that's what leads to, that after when you come from literally nothing. And then they lock you in another state of nothing. And that shit is so fucking depressing. Like, it's hard. It was hard. And so I appreciate this time so much because I've grown so much from that, and I'm able to reflect on it without no hard feelings. And I didn't have no hard feelings to begin with. I mean, I was scared at first because I was like, when you get behind it, when you get into that system, these people are literally playing with your life. These people are literally going back behind the chambers, the judges, the lawyers, they chopping it up with each other, and they like, all right, what can I get for this guy? How much can I give for this guy? All right, I'm gonna put this guy on probation, but I'm gonna give this guy 9 years. Like, the game is really, when they say the game is rigged, like, it's not a lie. So, I put all of that shit coming out of that into this album and into these words, to those songs. And for the first song, of course, which was heavily dedicated to my mom and my grandmother, was First Things First. And so that I put everything on the line on that song, and I got most of it out from what I was feeling and how sorry and remorseful I was feeling for putting my family, putting my mother through that, because I was better than that situation, but I was just in a very low state. I was in a very low frequency. And I never want to be there again. And especially I never want to be in that place again. And I wouldn't wish that place on my worst enemy, because even just a day in there is hell. So that was literally 100 days in hell. So that's, I kept that energy, and I kept strong, to say the least, for so long, to try to at least get it written. And it took me forever to fucking get everything recorded, but recording it was a whole different thing in itself. So I had to kind of put myself back in that mind state of hurt and depression and anger. It's a lot of anger. And that carried me through recording it, because I recorded it at the end of, I recorded everything that you hear on the album at the end of 2020, except for First Things First and King of the Furnace. I started recording those at the beginning of 2019, when I was initially trying to drop the album, but I still have shit together. I still have my shit together, so. But I finally did. It took a whole quarantine and a pandemic to do so, but I finally fucking did it.
How do you feel completing a project during a pandemic?
That shit was sick. Like literally, like didn't know. So what happened was I was blessed enough to get enough money together to finally create my own studio, which is something I've always wanted to do. So I got my pieces together. I did my research and got everything I needed to, I chopped it up with my engineer, like, yo, we need this, because I swear to God, like 2 years ago, or like back in it was like really 2017, and me and him were recording out of this space in Lacuna Lofts, and he got booted out the studio for some other stuff, but I lost my engineer essentially because he lost his recording home. So I really didn't have nowhere to record. And he was really the only engineer that I was really fucking with at the time, because I really felt like he could cater to my sound. So I told him probably at the end of 2018, I was like, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna get every fucking thing that we had that we was recording with, because it was the real like grand studio they had. It was he was a part of Remix Project, so they are a cohort influenced by OVO. So they have one in Chicago and they have one in Toronto. So it was really major thing, and I was seeing like popular artists from the city come in. I never seen Drake or nothing like that, but it was a real fun time that I had recording there, and met a lot of dope artists, a lot of dope producers. So we just took that energy, and I told him, I'm like, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna do this shit, but I'm gonna get everything that we was recording with, all the official shit, and we gonna do this shit. And I finally was able to do that this year. I bought the mic. I bought my microphone. I bought the same microphone that we used in Lacuna Lofts, and I bought that at the end of 2019. I had no idea. I bought it off a loan, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this shit, but I'm just keep pushing forward. And finally, lo and behold, it took an entire pandemic. But I received some money, and I just put the shit together, man. So that was a challenge in itself, but I felt very rewarded and very successful in doing so. And then it was literally just from there, linking up with my engineer, him coming to my, cause I just put the studio in my home, and just him coming to me going to him for mixing and mastering. He would come to me to help me record, and it was a lot. Like going back and forth with his schedule, my schedule, and also just making sure none of us were sick, and we were well throughout the whole thing. So yeah, man, we pulled it together. We literally like recorded everything and mixed everything within the last 2 months of 2020. Yeah, man, it was a challenge. It was a challenge to say the least, but it felt very, like, this is why I'm really doing this today, because I'm in a sense, I'm giving myself my flowers. to just, and because I feel accomplished more than I ever have.
Do you find it hard maintaining your business apart from the things or people say you love?
Not all the time, but it can get tricky. I'm a person that's been in quote unquote industry settings. I've been around a lot of industry producers, engineers, artists, rap artists, models, dancers. So, and trying to being in a relationship and trying to relate to your partner, or even your family, like your mom or your dad, or your brothers or your sisters, trying to make them believe that you're passionate at something, or that this is what you're passionate about, and but them also not believing in you 100% or completely as you would like them to. So and that can be really hard, because you need a support system. You need people around you to say, okay, I see what you're doing, even if they can't see it, or even if you don't got it all together yet. It can be very struggling, and it could cause quite a lot of backlash if you don't have people in your corner that are ready for you to be in these certain spaces, that are ready for you to take time away from home to do shoots, and to put funds towards photo shoots and video shoots and studio time, and that's what it was. Like I spent so much of my life working and putting money towards studio time. So that's why I told bro, I was like, bro, I gotta build a fucking studio, because I can't keep paying you $50 an hour. Like, you getting rich, I'm still just trying to make this shit happen. I'm making your pockets fat. And it was nothing. I didn't have no problem with that, but I was going broke trying to fulfill my dreams. And I just seen something recently, like this producer who's he's produced for I think Megan and the Baby, a lot of artists, a lot of top selling artists right now. But he said something that I do agree with, and he said that if you really want exposure, and if you really want people to see you, you have to pay the price. You have to put the money into it. You have to in a sense go broke. That's like giving it all you got. Not just go broke, because I'm never broke. I'm blessed and highly favored, but you just have to, when you have funds to put into what you're creating, you have to put the faith behind it. You have to put the faith behind it. You have to fucking believe. You just literally have to fucking believe. Because you speak, everything you speak and everything you write, everything you say is your next move. And that's all you really fucking have. So I'm steady trying to bridge the gap between, or try to create boundaries between my love life, or my home life, or my family life, and my music life. Because I know there could possibly be more tough days ahead, but this is me leaning into my passion, leaning into myself, leaning into what the fuck I really want to do in life that makes me happy, and also seeing a benefit or reward from it, or recognition from it. And nobody can take that away from me. Nobody can take that away from me, because I made this shit.
Do you think love and success can exist in the same space?
It can. You just have to have partners, and you have to have loved ones that understand. And sometimes you have to be a little brash or be a little harsh to make them understand that, like, yo, this is really all that I got. This is all that I'm trying to do. We see examples of it, but I'm not looking at that Hollywood shit. I'm not looking at the industry shit. Like Russell and Sierra, they look fine and dandy and happy and beautiful and all that good shit, but we don't fucking know what they go through behind closed doors. We don't see their bad days, because nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect, and if it is, I don't know. It might be some other shit going on, but and there's no shade to nobody in a successful love and business relationship. business as in, you know, fulfilling their dreams, their goals, whatever may have you. But like I said, it can exist. I think we don't have enough. We have a lot of famous and celebrity examples, but I think we need more real life examples, more community, neighborhood examples, more, you know, that couple across the street examples. And we need to create spaces for these people to tell their stories. You don't gotta be a rapper or a producer or a model or a dancer or trying to gain success in the limelight. You can be a banker or a firefighter, or because, you know, even firefighters have to spend so much time away from home, and their loved ones have to go out there. They have to go out there, and their loved ones have to trust that they're coming back home. So, and that's the key word too, because you have to have trust. You have to have trust, and you know, and faith, of course. You have to have faith, and you just have to fucking believe. Like I can't express that enough. Like you have to believe in your partner, but and also create a space that allows them to believe in you. And you know, I guess that happens with communication.
How do you overcome the fear of creating your own art and boosting your own platform?
What I try to do is I just tell myself I'm the shit. I constantly have to be my biggest fan, because it's some days where I just be like, it's really some days I be like, I don't even want to do this shit. Like I don't even want to do this shit. I don't want to promote. I don't want to send motherfuckers my album. I don't want to send press releases to blogs or labels or I don't want to do none of it. But then I forget, like, you know, you gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the work. Like, if nothing's gonna work for you if you don't put in that time to work for yourself. So I started my label Resilience Records in 2017, and now I finally did what the fuck I said I was gonna do and created my own studio. So no matter how big or little it might be to whomever, this is my shit, and I own it. So I have to continue to do that, because every day you feel like, every day you might not feel like you have a grasp or a hold on what's yours. You know, something's constantly fighting at you or pulling away at you or trying to take from you, or you just might have hella bills that you're trying to get through right now, or you might be some family problems, or a loved one is sick or died, or all types of problems we have that will just easily simply take us off our path. You just gotta be strong and fight through. And I know that's easier said than done, but me being where I come from Chicago, from the south side of Chicago, and me just being a black man in America, bro, I can't fold. I can't let them see me fold, because then I'm gonna just feel weak. I ain't gonna, you know, I gotta be that lion. I gotta be that bear. Shit, fuck it, I'll be the elephant in the room. What's up? But you know, it can be stressful, because at the same time I'm an anxious person. I'm a nervous person. Like sometimes I get in rooms and I be shy as fuck. I be like, damn, who the fuck is all these people? I don't even know. Like, but you gotta take a chance. You gotta take a step forward. You just gotta fucking believe in yourself. Like you gotta fucking fear. Like fear, that shit works. And I be like, nah, fuck that shit. Fuck fear. Cause if you live in that fear, you won't proceed nowhere.
What is your main purpose with completing this interview, and what does it mean for black male creatives in America?
I'm giving myself my flowers, bro. Like, cause we don't do that shit enough for ourselves. I'm happy. I was happy when I finally established my label in 2017, but that wasn't shit. That was just a name on paper. But now I'm invested. Like I'm invested. And now I have a project out there that people can eventually see me as a symbol of notoriety. And more importantly, a symbol of hope, and a symbol of someone that looks like me and you and the rest of us out here that are just fucking trying to make it. Not you ain't gotta be making $1 million. You ain't gonna be making, signing multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar deals, or you don't gotta be doing the most or trying to get the most. Just simply make it to the next fucking day. And for some of us, that can be really fucking hard when your son wants some Apple Jacks and you ain't even got paid yet, or you waiting on your next paycheck to fill up your fridge, or when you just down fucking bad and you like, damn, like how the fuck am I gonna get through this? A lot of days I couldn't really see myself here. But I spoke this shit up. Like I spoke this up, and I'm the label. I'm the representative. I'm the A&R. I'm the CFO, the CEO. Like I'm everything that I'm telling myself I want to be. And it's so fucking much more. This is ground level to me, because I'm happy. I feel accomplished that I finally created a piece of artwork for the world. So if that's the last thing people hear from me after today, I can live with that. I can live with that. But I'm not stopping here. You can't stop. We literally have no room to stop, because once you stop, it's like I would often hear so many stories about people being retired, or people that retire and then they pass right after. And I was like, damn. Like my nana still to this day, like she's not retiring. I hope she never retires. But she's still young in her mind and what she wants to do in life and what she wants to contribute. So that just lets me know that you can't fucking stop. Even if you're afraid to stop, even if you're afraid to make a change, or you're afraid people won't like you the same, or if you have a different attitude towards something that people gonna criticize you or judge you about it. Nah, fuck that. Just don't stop. Don't stop believing. Don't stop having faith. Don't stop trusting in yourself, or don't even stop trusting in the people around you, because it can be those same people that end up giving you the flowers you deserve, that end up helping you smell the roses in the end. And that's an accomplishment in itself, because that's teamwork. And you need that support. You need that support. And it's black men, like where we from, we don't have fucking support. We don't have resources that we can just go to, that we can just look outside. We don't even have people in our community that are substantial enough or accredited enough to look up to. And then coming from where we come from, it's like this Chicago is a crooked city, from the politics to the education systems to the fucking CTA, to the fucking buses. Motherfucking buses that drive right past you, looking at you. It didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just that young nigga from the bus stop that just had all these words in his head, and I'm finally getting the fuck out, because they gotta get out. They have to get out in order for me to become anew. It's like, I'm shedding skin, and I'm trying to be that motherfucking butterfly. You feel me? And not be pimped. Shout out to Kendrick, because they looking to pimp us. They looking to exploit us. That's all they've ever done. That's all the fuck they want to do. So I'm just like, yo, I'm showing you we can do this shit. I'm showing you we can make it. I'm living proof. I'm the motherfucking testimony. So shit, follow me if you choose to.